Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the show. Hope you guys are doing well today. Also, hope you guys are ready to have a little bit of fun watching me build a pretty exciting feature inside our YouTube application. So, you know that little feature that animates the video player to the top of the screen on your iPhones or iPads? Well, we are going to be building that today. So I'm going to first show you what this feature looks like, and then we'll go into all the guts and glory of what the code is going to do for us. So I'm going to show you my screen here, and the application so far that we've built doesn't really do much in terms of playing video, but it has a lot of nice features that allows you to scroll through the application. And the last video, we kind of left off on how to actually make our JSON parsing a lot more efficient. So we want to kind of move on to actually playing some video inside of our YouTube application, right? That's one of the biggest things of the app. And the feature for today will kind of look like this. So we have to start off with the basics, obviously. And what we need to do is want to click on one of these guys here, and it's going to launch the video player from the bottom right corner, and then it animates all the way to the top. So this is a video of me in Taiwan. Great place. Had a lot of fun at Mount Taroko. Really recommend you guys go there and check it out. But this video player is an entire view itself. Now there's kind of a bug where we see two players, but that's just how it is for now. And if you click on there, you kind of see the animation go from the bottom right, animates, starts the video playing and the rendering of all the frames. We can press pause and play, minimize, and even scroll the bottom controller down here. So that's what the feature looks like. And obviously this is quite a complicated bit of code to write. So why don't we start off with the basics of animating this video player from the bottom right into the top of the device. So let's go ahead and do that inside of our application right here. And what the code is going to look like right now is pretty basic. And I'll start off by running the application just to show you that we don't have a video player yet. Every time we tap on one of these little video thumbnails, you see how nothing happens, right? So the first thing to do is actually execute some code whenever we tap onto one of these cell items. And the first place to actually put in some code is actually not this home controller file that contains this entire collection view. The place to actually type in some code is inside of feed cell. And this entire vertical collection view is this feed cell. So what I'm going to do is implement a function called did select item at index path, and I'm just going to type print123. I think I need to override this function here. So I'm going to run this, and it looks like I do not need to override. And I'm going to run. The build looks successful. I'm going to just watch it launch right there. So every time I tap on one of these videos, you'll see that the print console actually says 1, 2, 3. So this is the starting point for where we're going to actually launch the video player. And the way to do the launching of the actual player is quite it's quite a bit of code, honestly. So the easiest way to introduce code in your application is to just create a new class. And because this is a sort of a view class, sort of a controller class, I don't exactly know where to put it, so I'm just going to put it in the helpers group. And this file is going to be, let's see, video launcher, like that. I'm just going to create it. And inside of here, I'll import UI kit, create this class right here called video launcher. And this will be an NS object class, right? So inside of this class, I have one method that I want to call function show video player. And it's only going to print out showing video player animation perhaps. And that's all it's going to do. So I'm going to replace this 1, 2, 3 with this print statement here by going back to the feed cell. And I'm going to just say let video launcher equals perhaps video launcher like so. Let me build a project, get the actual class here. and just use a normal good old constructor. And here I'll say video launcher, show video player. So nothing too much is going to happen to the view. I am only concerned with the print console right now. So it says showing video player animation. That's pretty good and a nice place to start off with some of the animations that we want to introduce in our application right now. The first of which is to actually get the player in view. So if I perhaps drag this guy down, I want to actually get the view inside of the entire application. And the way to do that is to simply add a view into what we call the key window of the application. So I'm going to create this view called UI view, like so. And you see how it has a constructor of frame. I want to give it a frame of the entire application. But because I'm inside of NS object, I don't really have access to any views. So what I'm going to do is access this thing called the key window. And if I say if let key window equals UI application, shared application key window. So you see down here it says the app's key window. Basically it's the container that holds everything inside of the application. So that's a good place to start. I'm going to copy the view code in there. And for the frame, I'll just say key window, let's see, window.frame. And a key window adds a view of this view guy here, this view. And I'm going to say view.background color equals UI color of white color, or perhaps a red color, just to make it pretty obvious what it is doing. And running this application, we're going to hit one of those video thumbnails, and it's going to cover the entire screen with this red view guy right there. So that's kind of how we start off our application. And in order to animate it from the bottom right to the top, all you have to do is specify two things: a beginning frame and a ending frame for our animation. So I'm going to do the first thing inside of this key window here is to set the beginning frame, which is all the way down in the right hand corner. And so if I call this view.frame equals perhaps CG rect like this with this constructor XY. And so what is the XY value, right? So the XY is all the way to the right and the Y is kind of all the way to the bottom. So the X value is actually key window.frame.width minus perhaps 10 pixels. And this will be something very similar, frame.height minus 10 pixels. I'm going to give the width and height 10 right there. So let me run this to show you what this looks like. And we'll animate it to the top like so. So you see this little red block on the bottom right there. That is what this frame looks like right now. And all we have to do is to animate it up to the very top with animate with duration. I'm going to use this one right here with the duration of 0.5 seconds, delay of 0, and using spring damping of 1, spring velocity of 1, curve options of curve ease out. It's okay if you don't really know what these values mean, because honestly, I don't really know what they mean either. They just give me nice animation curves, and that's all I kind of care about. So the animation block here, I just hit enter to get inside, and what I need to do is specify view.frame equals key window.frame like so. And for this completion block, you can hit enter and say completed animation, and I don't know, maybe we'll do something here later. And then let's run the application and see what the animation will do to the little red box in the tiny, tiny right-hand corner. So see how it kind of just envelops, is that the word here? It covers up the entire screen of the application, kind of like what we would expect with the beginning frame and the ending frame, how we decided to set it up. So that's pretty much expected, at least on my part. And what we need to do is, first, I'm going to change the background color to the nice white color. And inside of here, you notice how when it animates up, we have a black view on the top and then the white view on the bottom right. So all we're missing here is this blackish view that the video player will actually live inside. So to do that, I am going to create another class for this video player up here. And I create another class because there's a lot going on here. For example, this scrubber is what you call this tracker thing here, as the beginning time, end time, or the playing time, and then this minimize button. So, a lot going on. And what this means is you should really promote it to be a first-class citizen inside of your application. And I'm going to just create a class in line like that. And perhaps I'll move it later to one of these groups. This class will be called Video Player View. And here we go. So what do we need in here? Well, I will have to override this init frame constructor, call super init frame. The usual business. Hope you guys are kind of used to this by now. And we'll override this fatal error guy because Swift just forces us to do so. Okay, so I have this video player view now, and I wanted to set its background color to equal .black color, like that. So it gives me a black color for this video player view. And with all that being done, I am going to, I'm going to add it inside of this entire view right here. Now, if I run the application, you'll see that it doesn't do anything yet. So I want to add it in here somewhere. So clicking there, we get the white view now because we changed color to white, obviously. And I want to add it into the very top right here-ish. And to do that, it's quite simple. What I'll do is I'll add it directly inside of this white view guy right here, which is this view here. And I'll say view.add subview. And what is the subview? Well, it is this video player view here. So let's create an inline with this video player view equals video player view. And then we'll add this video player view guy here. So to finish off this line 35, we will use a constructor of frame. And this is where the tricky part kind of comes in. What is the exact frame of this black video player, which is up here? Well, we know the frame is this. So let's just say video player frame equals CG rect of X, Y, width, and height. So X is 0, Y is 0 for the top left corner right there. That's the origin point of the application. And the width will be, key window dot frame dot width. So the entire width of the application. And the height is the tricky part. So let height equals the height of, let me just type it out here and perhaps I'll explain to you what this kind of means. So times 9 over 16. And 9 over, or 16 by 9 is the aspect ratio of all, I guess HD is what they call it, HD videos. And the way we determine the height is to just multiply by 9 over 16, which is the inverse of 16 over 9, or 16 by 9, obviously. And what we'll get is we'll use this height here for the actual video player frame, and we'll specify video player frame right there. And hopefully I'll get something to render on this screen, but if not, let's see what is wrong. So this works pretty well, and what we kind of need to do is we need to hide this status bar when the animation is kind of completed. So to kind of do this, I'm just going to say inside of the completion block of the entire animation, I will call UI application.shared application set status bar hidden. And let's see, hidden is true. Animation is perhaps fade. And if I run this, it'll be okay. And this method is deprecated, which means, so the status bar hides, right? So a deprecation of a method means that In the future version of iOS, perhaps iOS 11 or 12, I'm pretty sure iOS 10 still has this method. One of the versions in the future iOS versions will not contain this method anymore, but you're pretty much guaranteed this will exist for a couple of years since it's only been deprecated since iOS 9. Anyhow, that's enough talk about that. The warning is kind of annoying, but we'll just deal with it for now. Anyhow, how do we get the video to actually play inside this black area? That's kind of the interesting point of today's video, I guess. And what we need to do is to introduce a player that plays video, obviously. And this player is of a type AVPlayer like that. So we don't have the object inside of our file yet. So let's import this AV Foundation framework. Inside of here, we'll finish off with AVPlayer, and it needs a NSURL constructor. So I am going to say this, let URL string equals something right here. And the string is actually down here in my notepad, text edit, whatever you call that little tool. I'm going to paste in the actual movie file that exists on my Firebase storage. And I'm going to construct an NSURL with if let URL equals NSURL string of URL string. That's how you would construct the URL and also unwrap this guy right here. So this gives you like an optional URL, and we unwrap it like so. And here we'll just say URL. So now that we have this player, what do we want to do with it? Well, you kind of want to call player.play eventually. But let's see, if I run this application, you don't see anything inside the black area. And we need to just fix that really, really quickly. So there's no player in here, and the play actually doesn't play anything. The reason is because the video doesn't render unless you specify something called a player layer. So let's say player layer equals AVPlayer layer. It's a fun class name to say. And inside the constructor, we just specify player of this player guy here. And finally, we call self layer dot add sub layer player layer. And if you run this, you actually get the video to play, but it doesn't render any frames. So let me just fix it right away with, let's see, player layer dot frame equals self dot frame, like so. And if I run this, you're going to see video frames being played, hopefully, if I'm not mistaken. And will it play? Will it not? Okay, there we go. So this is a video file that I've put on my Firebase storage, obviously. And if you guys want to play your own video files, just change the string to whatever you want it to be. So in the description below, you'll have this perhaps as the video link, but I'm going to put a warning here. Use your own video link URL here. The bandwidth for Google Firebase storage will run out as more and more people use this file. So at some point in time in the future, this URL will have run out of bandwidth for my free account on Firebase. So that's my warning. Use your own file. I assume this is going to fail in the future, and you've been warned. So that's how the player actually plays. All right, that's going to wrap it up for today. Hope you found the lesson helpful. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you did. Now, obviously, the video player has a lot more functions and features to implement. So we're going to get into how to do that in a later video. I'm also trying to make these videos a little bit shorter and easier to consume because I know you guys have things better to do than watch me ramble on. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Helps me out a lot. And finally, if you want to download the project for today's video, go ahead and head over to the link in the description below. You can kind of play around with the video player and kind of see how it feels and how it works before you implement it on your own there. All right, that's about it. Keep on coding. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.